With all that being said, back talk, commence. Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my newest review. You guys are honestly spectacular. Look forward to more review...
Wait a minute. Something's not right. Wait. Now where was I?
Welcome back to my Christopher Nolan series, everybody. We are chugging right along. I'm having a lot of fun taking a trip down memory lane here. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most unique films I've ever had the privilege of sitting through, Memento. Of course, this film was written and directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Guy Pearce, Carrie-Anne, and Joe Pantoliano. And before I get any further in the review, thank you all so much once again for stopping by. I hope you all are staying safe in these troubling times. And just a reminder, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can so you don't miss any of my future videos. And be sure to leave a thumbs up on the video if you like it by the end. Now let's talk about one of the weirdest films I've ever seen. Sheesh, where do I begin with this one? Well, judging from my previous reviews, I usually start out with the plot. Yeah, that's probably a good start. Now, the main character in this movie is Leonard, played by Guy Pearce, and he's a man who is struggling to put his life back together after the brutal rape and murder of his wife. But here's the catch, Leonard was also severely beaten by the same man who killed his wife, giving him short-term memory loss. Leonard can no longer remember anything beyond the fact that his wife was murdered. He remembers who he is, but after that, he struggles. He is very incapable of retaining any new information. And his solution is copious note-taking and Polaroid photographs in order to keep track of what happens to him over the course of a single day. He's even gone so far as tattooing himself with a few crucial bits of information that he can't really escape without. But as previously mentioned, Leonard retains the awareness that his wife was brutally murdered, and he's convinced that the culprit is still walking the streets. And Leonard is obsessed with the notion of taking him down. Along the way, he gets help from bartender Natalie, played by Carrie-Anne, and Teddy, played by Joe Pantoliano, who claims to be Leonard's friend, even though Leonard senses that he 100% cannot be trusted. So as I've just said, and as I've shown you with the gimmick of the video so far, Leonard has got short-term memory loss. Pretty severe short-term memory loss at that. And Christopher Nolan, just in case you guys have been living under a rock at this point, decides to tell this narrative in reverse. That's right, there's a pattern to this movie. Every scene that's shot in normal Technicolor is shown to the audience in reverse chronological order, and we also get scenes in this movie shot in black and white, and these are shown to us in the traditional correct chronological order. Now this sounds like a supremely radical idea, and chances are if you've never seen Memento before and you have no clue what to expect, chances are you're going to be really confused by this movie at first. And I was too, believe me. But once you start getting used to the sequence of how events are shown to you, this is a really well put together film and a well put together story. Christopher Nolan wrote and directed this movie with the expected mastery that we've all come to expect from him at this point. He gets everything just right. The tone, the themes, the idea, the cinematography, the fast-paced editing. Oh my gosh, the editing in this movie is something to behold. And I think this editing was absolutely perfect as a compliment to Leonard's frantic way of thinking. It's a very crisply edited feature. Pure mastery not only behind the camera, but in front of the camera. Guy Pearce is an actor that I don't think gets nearly the amount of respect he deserves these days. His performance in this movie, just downright phenomenal. And he's got a lot of dialogue to remember, and he usually spouts out all of it at such a lightning fast pace. And even though the order of events that we're seeing in front of us is so completely out of whack, Guy Pearce is always living in the moment with this character. And I bought every panicked word we hear out of his mouth. I understood his plight, I understood his motivations, and I was rooting for him to get that vindication. And once the film reaches its very, very thrilling conclusion, there's something very oddly satisfying about it. even though basically the story at that point was told completely in reverse. I also thought Carrie-Anne Moss was superb in this film as well. She plays a character named Natalie who makes a connection to Leonard in a much different way compared to everybody else. But Natalie is not the perfect human being. She sometimes even takes advantage of Leonard and his condition. I thought her performance was great. Now, Joe Pantoliano portrays Teddy, who is a guy directly in Leonard's path towards vengeance without giving too much away. But honestly, the movie's 20 years old at this point, so I feel it's pretty safe to go into Memento spoilers. I've warned you, just in case. But I think this character is one of the worst human beings I've ever seen. If you thought Natalie was taking advantage of Leonard, wait until you watch Teddy. He was not only using Leonard's condition to his benefit to pose as one of his best friends, but he's using it as a method to get away from the crimes that he's committed. This includes fabricating a story that he's in fact the detective looking into this incident in Leonard's life, but in reality, he was the culprit the entire time. And that's where I think the genius of Memento shines through. Now, obviously, at the beginning of the film, we see that Leonard has in fact gotten his revenge on Teddy. You know, the note on the Polaroid picture of him, "He is the one. Kill him." And I'm sure going into it, just watching that opening sequence, which is chilling in and of itself, a lot of people are probably wondering how they even got to this point. The Polaroid pictures and the notes he writes on these pictures are extremely helpful for the audience in piecing all this information together. This movie, I think, is the shining example and a perfect piece of dramatic irony. It's the classic bomb under the tea table bit. We all know that Teddy is the culprit, and yet we're still rooting for Leonard to figure it out, even though we already know that Leonard's gotten him. Memento is such an original thriller. It is still wholly unique even 20 years after its theatrical release. There's never been a film like it before. I don't think there ever will be again. It is required viewing for all cinema buffs, and I think it absolutely deserves my highest grade of an A+. In my honest opinion, this is one of the best thrillers ever made. And could you imagine, guys, if they actually went through with remaking this movie like they were about 5 years ago? Don't ever do that, by the way. I digress. Regardless, the streak continues. 5 Nolan reviews down, 5 A+. Do you need any more proof that this guy's a genius? But yeah, if you've never seen Memento before, definitely seek this one out. I obviously recommend it to all of you. It is truly a cinematic experience, to say the least. I love every second of Memento. I try to watch it at least once a year. I always find something new on every rewatch. But this is not the end of the Christopher Nolan series, of course. I got a few more to go. Look out at this point next week for my review on one of his more underrated flicks, The Prestige. Guys, thanks again, as always, for checking out the video. Don't forget to please hit that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can so you don't miss any of my future reviews. And be sure to leave a thumbs up on the video if you like it. Look forward to more fun reviews very soon on this channel, guys. Thanks again for watching and supporting the channel up to this point. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.